So today is a big day. Now, as you can tell, it's raining. You know, it's like, what kind of timing is that when you're packing up, getting ready for your first camping trip, and it's pouring down rain? But it is what it is. So we're excited because Chris and I are actually going to leave the driveway and we are going to go to Sevierville, Tennessee. So this will be our first trip with our Riverstone Legacy going down the highway towards a campground. So we are really excited about this. I suppose while I'm up here, I might want to check on the roof. You know why? Because we're parked right by some big oak trees. And as we're here in the driveway and we're sitting here, it's like you'd swear that there's a kid throwing rocks at your RV. And sometimes I think Chris is outside doing it just to get my goat, but it's drop. Lots of little acorns hit the top of this roof while in our RV. Anyway, look, the culprit. So we made it out of the driveway, guys, and here we are in beautiful Sevierville, Tennessee, and we're staying at a gorgeous resort and campground called the Ridge Resort here in Sevierville, Tennessee. And man, I tell you what, we did have a little bit of a sneak peek because before we were RV owners, we did drive through here because it's so close to the main campus that we're a part of here in Sevierville. So we kind of had, you know, an idea of what it was like. We were originally hoping to get a pull-through site, but they were so busy that we had to do a back-end site, and it still is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the pull-in site that we're in, or the back-end site that we're in, backs up to a green belt. So the pull-in sites are more in the pull-through sites are more in the middle of the campground. So from that respect, it actually worked out in our favor had we, you know, thought about it.
Yeah, so depending on how you look at it, right? I would say that the only thing that made it difficult for us was, so when we came here, we left on a Sunday, and so we had to lead the service on Sunday. We left, drove to the church parking lot, parked our big rig in the church parking lot, went down to the campus, and then instantly had to jump into a service that I played keyboard for because our campus was having a youth conference, and which was awesome, and there was 213 teenagers there. It was awesome. Fun, but we came from church to church. So by the time we got here to the Ridge, it was like 9 o'clock at night, and we did not know that it was going to be pitch dark when we arrived back here. So even maneuvering to get back to our spot, we really had to. I even had to roll down the windows sometimes to try to look at the signs because it was so dark. So we didn't count on that.
To see what street we were on. Yeah, we couldn't even figure out what street we were on.
Man, I mean, the Bible tells us to be a light. So Chris had to get out the only light that we had, which was her cell phone, guys.
Dear. Why we didn't put a flashlight in our car, and we didn't think about it. So definitely note to self the next time we come here if it's in the dark, or any campground for that matter.
Yeah.
So yes.
You know, but as many of you probably know already, I mean, like RVing, you're constantly learning. Not only are you learning your rig, but you're just learning all kinds of things, stuff on the outside, like backing in at night, you know. I would definitely say that I would prefer to probably be at a campground if I was going to be there to back in during the daytime than at nighttime. But we did what we had to do, and it was nice because some campers across from us were were watching us, and they came over and brought their flashlights and kind of helped us out. And I really only think I had to pull up one time just to get a little more centered where we wanted to be and get our sewer line up and water, and things of that nature. But that was probably only...
Yeah, and the sites are pretty wide, so there's a lot of room to get into the spots, which is nice, especially if you're backing in.
Yeah. They really, I think all of them are about the same. So, a crazy side story to this whole thing is when we arrived here, well, right before we left, we had opened up an Instagram account and Facebook, and so we got YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram that we're on now. And we initially, Chris was, I think,
our second
follower, and then a good friend of ours from Wisconsin, I think, was our first follower.
Yep.
And then, was it on the way here?
I don't know if it was some point before we left or sometime before we got here. We got a third follower that was an RVer, so we were like, woo woo.
Yeah, so Outdoors started following us, and we thought, hey, all right, yeah, we got our first fellow RVer following us. That's awesome, number 3,
Yay.
And we were excited about that. So we get here, we get here late at night. We set up, and I took some pictures in the morning. All of a sudden, we get an inbox message from Outdoors, and they're like, oh my gosh, we're here too.
They were literally at the same campgrounds that we were at. Like, talk about a small world experience. How does that happen? Our first RV followers, and then we get to meet up with them at our first campground experience.
So we're going to play the video that you're getting ready to watch right now of Megan and Philip that we met here, and they're super cool. And for them too, by the way, they said that they've been out for a year.
Yeah, right? And they're full-time.
Full-time. And they said that a lot of their followers and people that they followed, that they still haven't met either. So we were the first ones for them too. So it was kind of cool for both of us to meet. So watch this and enjoy it. These are our new friends, Philip and Megan. And so we get here to our site, and we were just like talking back and forth, right?
Yeah, you guys posted a photo on Instagram, and I was like, hey, that looks familiar. And I saw the ridge, and I said, oh, they're at the same exact park we're at.
So we're like,
and so I was like, hey, we're here too.
What are the chances of us being at the same park? So I think we were all just blown away.
Yeah.
And it's the first time that we've all got to meet somebody else that you've followed on another site. So so it's so nice to meet these two. So you guys will have to go check them out and go to your Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
Outdoorish RV.
Outdoorish RV. And let me tell you, Philip, we've learned, is super handy. So I think next time I need a project, I'm going to be calling him, hey, what state are you in? I'm going to come visit you. So
I don't
awesome.
offer warranties.
No. Okay, so you guys have been full-time for how long again?
About a year.
Yeah,
Little over a year.
Little over a year.
A little over a year, man. Okay, and just so everybody else can hear, because you kind of told us one last night, but tell your craziest story, your craziest RV story.
I think we
Well,
kind of
which one?
disagree,
Yeah.
so I'll let you, because you're the driver, you're the fix-it guy, so.
This is awkward. So there's lots of crazy stories, right? So the craziest RV component related story revolves around our Lippert jacks not going down any further, not going up. So they basically got stuck, and we had to, this is while we were trying to unhook the truck from the RV and get set up at camp. So basically had to wait an hour for the Lippert emergency engineer to call us and tell us how to reset it. We've also gotten into situations where we missed a turn and got into some very tight roads
that we shouldn't have been on.
in Pennsylvania that we shouldn't have been on, and we got to a point where we got to a tree branch that would have basically taken off our air conditioners if we weren't careful. So we had to navigate around that carefully. There was a time that we stopped at Lowe's because I was working on a project. We were waiting for the check-in time for a campground to open, and I was working on a project in a Lowe's parking lot, and then I apparently left the something heavy by the door. The door didn't close all the way, the door wasn't locked, and then next thing you know, a tool bag fell out the door was open while we were turning, and someone was basically like honking at us and telling
flagging
us
us down
to stop. So and then we're like, what's going on? They're like, oh, you dropped something out of your door, and they're like, oh, it's a backpack. we don't have a backpack. And then it was a tool bag. So lots of fun stories.
Man, now I think the one part of the story you left out about the limper jack, like when his jack wouldn't come down, here's the amazing thing. Megan was on the other side holding up the fifth wheel all by herself.
Muscles here.
That's a lie.
Okay, we thought that'd make a good video. Anyway. No, so I follow these guys. These guys are awesome, and it's cool to finally meet some fellow RVers out here. We hope to run into them again sometime soon. So check them out. So that was amazing. I hope you enjoyed that. That was great. We had such a great time with those guys. So now we want to tell you a little bit of some of the things that we like here. So go ahead and tell them your favorite stuff.
Well, I just love that it's not just an RV park. They've got other ways that you can camp here. They've got, what are those tents called?
Yurts.
Yurts. They've got small houses. There's actually, I think I saw 5 small houses that have yet to be installed, and they're expanding the campground as we speak right now, adding several new sites to the back side of the campground. So the facilities are great. The building is also, in addition to the registration and just the basics of a campground, they also have it's like kind of like a little convention center, conference center.
Yeah.
So tons of parking spaces. I think it used to be a church, and so there's actually even a church that meets in the facility on the weekends. It's got a pool, a beautiful pool.
Yeah.
It's got a basketball court, hot tub. Oh yeah, hot tub, can't forget that. Basketball court, pickleball court, and what did I say? It was a go-go pit?
Yeah.
Some sort of dodgeball.
Which, I don't know, we don't know what that is.
We've never heard of it. There's a small dog park here. There's a great little kids playground area too for smaller children. And
it's big enough that if you wanted to, you can definitely walk.
Oh, for sure.
It's big enough that you can kind of go down the hill and around and, and meet and greet people. Everybody at RV parks are just so nice, and everybody's warm and welcoming and want to kind of swap stories, and it's like you get to meet new friends or your little neighbors for a little while, so it's super great. Yeah, we've really enjoyed our time here. This park is super clean,
and it's like right in the middle of Sevierville too. Like, it's not out in the outskirts, but yet it feels like it when you're in it, just from the trees that surround it. But it's super convenient to just all of the local sites to see. Restaurants are literally right across the street from the campground is a coffee shop and a yogurt shop.
Yeah.
So you could even walk there. If you've got a golf cart, you could probably just take your golf cart across the street, which was nice as well.
Yeah, I think if you're wanting to stay just outside of the madness that is Pigeon Forge, because it's super busy there. Those of you who come here, this is a great place to be because you're kind of out from that madness, but yet you're not too far away to go do all those sites and all those tourist things over there. So it's in a great location. I think it's a great location. So we definitely recommend coming here. I think you'll really enjoy your time here. The owners, we got to meet them, and they're super nice people. And matter of fact, they even went to the church that we're a part of at one point, and just great people. They really are. They're just good people. So we definitely recommend, if you're in this area, Sevierville, or you're coming to visit Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and you want to set up camp somewhere and then kind of go out from there, this is a great place to come to. I think we paid $79 for our place, but it's full hookups, super clean, lots of amenities that are great. So you can bring the kids. They'll still have a blast here. We've seen kids riding bikes, and things of that nature around here. So awesome time.
Yeah.
Well, what's the saying? All good things must come to an end. I think that's very fitting for what's going on right now. It's always hard to leave the campground because you meet so many cool neighbors on either side, which we did this week. We had Paul on one side of us, so shout out to Paul. It was so nice to meet you. And then we had Mel and Debbie to the right of us. So shout out to you guys too.
And another small world experience, because Mel and Debbie were from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which is where we had moved from before we came to North Carolina a few months ago. So,
Yeah, so small world.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And one thing that's nice about that, as many of you know, you get to exchange ideas and say, hey, this works for me, maybe it'll work for you. I mean, you just learn from each other, which is really great, really fun. I love that camaraderie that you have at the campground of just exchanging different ideas. So
yeah, because from Mel and Debbie, we learned about some gear, some outdoor cooking gear, and then from Paul, he shared some of his Thousand Trails experience and the Harvest Host experiences that he's had. So those are things that we need and are looking into. So it was great just to get some, firsthand recommendations.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to be looking in to some of those stuff. So we thought we'd kind of take the time as well to share with you guys some of the things that we really like about the Ridge Outdoor Resort, and some of the things we struggled with just a little bit. So I'll let you go.
We definitely didn't struggle with much. It was great. I mean, for me, having never been other than camping in my driveway and at the RV dealership, this was my first actual camping experience, and I mean, it couldn't have been any better. The Ridge it's definitely a high-end camping resort. The grounds are amazing. They're kept up so well. Everything about it, just all the amenities, top notch, and the staff, great.
I think sometimes, it's the small things when you go camping that mean the most. And as many of you know, if you've watched our videos, we have been camping in our driveway because there's renovations going on at the house. So one of the things here at the house, it's a well. So there's a water pump that kicks on, and so the water pressure to the RV, it's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. So one of the first things we noticed when we got up to shower the first day at the Ridge, it was like, hallelujah. I mean, we had like water pressure. Oh my gosh,
yeah. And for hair washing days, a definite benefit to have some serious water pressure.
Yeah, definitely. So that was like, wow. And then, the Wi-Fi there at the park was great. And of course, nowadays in times and technology, if you don't have your Wi-Fi, it's like, what do I do? So those little things, were really great. But also the layout, of our site was great. It was manicured very well, easy. All the hookups, were very easy.
Very user-friendly, yeah.
Yeah, the layout was nice. One of the things that was hard for us when we first got there was navigating back to our spot, because it was 9 o'clock at night, and as we were working our way around the resort, there wasn't a lot of lighting, so it was kind of hard to see and navigate the streets that you needed to go on. Now they did a great job. They gave us a map and they took a pen and and they drew where we were supposed to go. However, once we were navigating back there, it was really dark. So we did find out though, and as we were there one day filling up our propane tanks, the crew was going around installing new lighting in the facility.
Lamp posts.
Yeah, so that'll be great. That'll really help people when you're coming in. If you're coming in, at night and you got to back in, I think it'll help you navigate back there even more. The only snafu that we ended up having there, where the asphalt meets the cement pad, there was about 1.5 inch lip. So when you pull your truck in, facing your rig, and you're coming around from like the passenger side, you kind of forget that lip is there. So one day while we were there, I was putting the propane tanks back and I was hooking them up, and I'm sitting there and all of a sudden I hear, and then I hear glasses sliding across the concrete and a phone sliding the other way across the concrete, and I see no Chris. So I walk around the corner, and unfortunately Chris was laying there on the ground. And she said, I had the wind knocked out of me, and she tripped on that. So how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling better every day. It was, I think more than anything, it was embarrassing. Thankfully, as far as I know, none of our neighbors were out. So unless they were peering out their windows, nobody saw me. But yeah, I hit the step on our truck pretty hard, came down on it on my side. And so, yeah, it knocked the wind out of me, and a little bit of pride. So, but thankfully, I am fine, just a little sore.
So if you go there, heads up on that. Just be aware. Make sure you step over the little lip. But we can't wait till we get to go there again.
Absolutely.
So may the Lord bless and keep you.
And make his face shine upon you.
Be safe out there, everybody.
Take care.